Well, good evening, everyone. It's 8 o'clock on this Sunday night. Appreciate you tuning in for a little time of reflection before we start our week. Week 7 of social distancing, 7 weeks since we began all of this. Hard to believe. Wednesday, Campus Live is at 3 o'clock, and then Campus Live on Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock. And I always appreciate that you give some of your time to this community just to connect and be together, to see each other's faces and kind of set up for the week. That's my hope, is to just give our week some context and a little bit of framing. And I want to, Charlie's back there with me too. So if you see Charlie back there, he's making a guest appearance. Charlie, come say hi, bub. Say hi to everybody. So I want to talk about schools tonight, and in particular, I want to talk about TMI. I spend a lot of time, especially over these last 7 weeks, I spent a lot of time on Zoom classes or Zoom conference calls with Episcopal school heads, independent school heads, school leaders from across the country. And one thing that everyone has in common during these last 7 weeks is that no school is doing social distance learning better than they were doing learning prior to COVID-19. Not one of them. I've not heard one educator or administrator say, we're pretty darn good at this distance learning stuff, so much that let's just not come back to school. Like, we're really killing it in remote instruction. Nobody is saying that. And so everybody is saying, man, how do we provide a better product? How do we innovate and make sure that what we're delivering to our community has value? And so as I hear schools across the country, independent schools, Episcopal schools, private schools, public schools, every administrator in this country try to figure out how to best provide value to their community, I find myself really proud of our community. I'm proud of what we provide. I'm proud of our teachers. I'm proud of our students. I'm proud of our families. As I said, tomorrow starts week 7 of remote instruction for TMI, week 7. And we thought this would be 2 or 3 weeks, and now here we are, week 7, with 2 more to go. And while I still believe that TMI is providing value, you may disagree. And if you're in the boat of wondering whether or not you're getting value out of this remote instruction period, I want to tell you that I get it. And as I shared on social media this week, and as I shared with my faculty, I too hit a wall this week. I have 3 children at home. Kimberly, my wife, travels a couple of days a week for work, and there was a day this week where I was home alone, trying to work while trying to parent with a 3rd grader who's at a wonderful school, but was doing her work and needed my help just to log on and to do her work. And I was done. I was absolutely done with remote instruction. I even texted the head of school at my daughter's school, and I said, I will pay you double tuition if she can start summer tomorrow. I'm done. I value your school. I value my school, but I'm done with this remote instruction. So I just wonder, anybody else felt that anytime over the last 7 weeks? Has if you haven't, good on you, but I'm just wondering, at any time in the last 7 weeks, has it occurred to you, I'm done? So I'm telling you that because I empathize with you, and I love my daughter's school. I wouldn't send her to any other school in the world. And I love my son's school. My sons go to TMI. I love our schools, but it's very natural, I think, for all of us to come to a place in this extremely odd time where we wonder, is it worth it? Does the school provide the value that I'm paying for? Couldn't I get this in a much cheaper and a less expensive place? Is there value to what my child is getting? Well, thank you for asking me. So I want to talk a little bit about schools for a second. The beauty of Sunday nights is there's no agenda, so I get to share with you what's on my heart. So I get to share with you what's been on my heart this week. So I want to start with kind of a bigger lens around schools. If you make it in the simplest of contexts, there are 2 types of schools in this country. There are secular schools and there are religious schools. A secular school believes that religion or spirituality should be kept out of the schoolhouse, right? A secular school believes that religion or spirituality belongs out. It's okay to have it, but it belongs outside of the schoolhouse. Versus a religious school that not only believes that spirituality or religion belongs in the schoolhouse, but that religion or spirituality is actually essential to the formation of their students. So a spiritual school says, man, it's not only necessary, it's who we are as an institution, right? Pretty simple. Secular schools, religious schools. Within the context of religious schools, you even have two schools of thought. You kind of have exclusive religious schools, or you have inclusive religious schools. So an exclusive religious school kind of divides the world into us and them. Well, who is us? Us in a religiously exclusive school is anybody who believes what we believe, which is, of course, the right thing. Whoever believes like us and thinks like us belongs to us, and therefore that's the us and that's the them. And some schools, religiously exclusive schools, will even have their parents sign a document that says, you believe what we believe, because you can't come be a part of us if you don't believe what we believe. Some religiously exclusive schools actually make their faculty do the same thing. Do you believe what we believe? Because if you don't, then you can't work here. And so some religious schools draw the line of us versus them. And I applaud those schools for taking spirituality seriously and holding true to their values. I applaud them for having that strong spiritual sense, but it also makes me really sad to think of those who are not allowed in those spiritual schools, the people that can't be brought into those communities because they don't believe what the us believes. So then that leaves the other type of spiritual school, which is an inclusive spiritual school. And an inclusive spiritual school takes spirituality just as seriously. But an inclusive spiritual school believes that all people have something to offer and that we can actually learn from people who don't believe what we believe, and we can learn from people who don't believe anything at all. We can learn and find value from all people. Well, you know this, but Episcopal schools are religious schools that are inclusive. Episcopal schools are religious schools that are unapologetic for their Christian roots, but also willing to open their arms wide to all types of people. When you think about that very image, opening your arms wide, stretching out your arms wide, opening the doors to all people, to open one's arms wide is actually a Christ-like thing to do. It is to be in the image of Christ, to open one's arms wide. And so I'm honored to be a part of a school that is authentically Christian and genuinely inclusive. I think we follow Jesus and therefore we act like him. And the best way to act like him is to love people like he loved people, which is with arms wide open. So as you think about, does my school have value? You send your child to TMI, an inclusively religious school. So why is that valuable? I want you to think for a second, parents, about how you want to define your child or what characteristics you would hope to define your child in 10 years from now. So if you have a 17-year-old Velasco's and you picture the 27-year-old Georgie Velasco, I'm going to actually put you guys on the spot. Monica, not Georgie, not Jorge. I'll put you on the spot, Monica, because I trust you more. Monica, when you think of a 27-year-old Georgie Velasco, tell me 3, 4, 5 words that you would hope would describe the 27-year-old Georgie.
Oh my gosh. Compassionate, caring, intelligent,
responsible.
Good. Awesome. Perfect words. Great. Great examples. Intelligent, compassionate, responsible. I have 3 children of my own, and Lord knows I want them to be smart and I want them to be educated, but like the Velascos, I want them to be responsible and compassionate and caring. I want them to be good human beings. And in a world that is full of constant consumption and constant self-gratification, TMI, an inclusive religious school, offers a path of servant leadership and a path of changing the culture. So I often wonder, and I know my answer to this, can a school be both academically excellent and inclusively spiritual? Can a school do both? Can they be academically excellent and spiritually inclusive at the same time? Or does one come at the cost of the other? Well, I honestly and passionately believe that schools can do both. And I believe that TMI is living proof that schools can have high academic rigor, high academic excellence, and strong character development. So why am I telling you all of this? This is not an admissions event. You didn't come to a Facebook Live to learn more about TMI. You're actually already in. You're a part of our community. So why am I telling you what I believe is TMI's value to you? Well, if there's one thing that I learned in this COVID-19 time, it's that we have to keep the main thing the main thing. I'm so proud of our students, and I'm so proud of our community. And there are lots of schools sending lots of kids to great colleges, and academics are important. All schools have graduates who go on to be successful doctors, successful lawyers, successful engineers. But I want to brag a little bit about the product of TMI. I want to brag a little bit about a TMI grad. I want to tell you about Elizabeth Holmes, TMI class of 2017, who's at Harvard. She's the captain of her swim team. She's already decided that after she graduates from Harvard with her pre-med degree, that she's going to be a neurologist. But before she goes to medical school, she's already been accepted to Teach for America. And she's going to spend at least 2 years teaching underprivileged students and giving back. Lots of schools send kids to Harvard. Lots of schools send kids to medical school. But a Harvard grad from TMI knows that the greatest among us is the one who serves. I want to tell you about Chris Pettis. Chris is TMI class of 2014, graduated from the University of South Carolina in 2018, and he's currently in his second year of law school at UT Austin. And he still found time the last 2 summers to do service work. Last summer in Namibia, South Africa, where he did a 3-month internship. Lots of schools have grads who go to law school. Lots of schools have lawyers in their midst. But a UT law school student from TMI knows that the greatest among us is the one who serves. I want to tell you about Grant Kale, TMI class of 2019. I shared his story on a recent Some Good News TMI edition. Grant's a first-year engineering student at the Colorado School of Mines. And along with his friends, he's developed a ventilator made from common items found in hospitals. Lots of schools have grads who go on to become engineers. But an engineer from TMI also knows that the greatest among them is the one who serves. Those are just a few examples, without mentioning all the TMI grads who've gone on to seminary or missionary work, like Richard Aguilar, class of 75, or Rebecca Charo, class of 06, or Steven Santos, class of 2013. Lots of TMI grads serve in medical fields like nurses, Amy Reed, 2012, or social workers like Naomi Clark, 2014. Some TMI grads like Alan Roop or Pat Davis or Matt Ridewood or Patrick Cook come back to teach at TMI and have committed their life to raising the next generation of servant leaders. Or grads who've chosen a career in the military, serving our country in the U.S. Armed Forces like Mike Oates or Trent Melcher, Robbie Devlin or Fallon Little or Steele Sessions. Steele's TMI class of 2014 and graduated from West Point in 2018, commissioned as a second lieutenant in the infantry, entered U.S. Ranger School in 2019 and is currently serving our country in Iraq. Those are just a few of the examples of TMI grads who are going on to be successful as doctors and lawyers and engineers and Army officers and teachers and nurses. And lots of schools can brag about that same field of students. But a TMI student knows how to be successful while also knowing that the greatest among us is the one who serves. Now, I know I left out a ton of TMI grads. I left out a ton of people who I could have told their story. But isn't that what makes TMI great? If I didn't mention you, I'm sorry. If you're thinking, why didn't he mention my kid or this other kid? I'm sorry. But I think that's what's so cool about us, is I could pull from a million examples of TMI students who are successful in life while being great human beings. And of all those people that I mentioned, you know what I don't know about any of those people? I don't know their GPA. I don't know their transcripts. I don't know that at all. Are they successful? You ask their mamas if they're successful. They are so successful because they are modeling servant leadership. That's what TMI does. Strong students and strong academics and strongly godly love and strong servant leadership and great human beings. It's never an either or. For TMI, I truly believe it's a both and. Scholarship and service. We have 2 weeks left in this academic year, and it will not be perfect, academically speaking. It won't be better than the product you would get on campus. No school will be. But the value of a TMI education will never be found on a resume or a transcript. It will always be found in the heart of our students, in the heart of our families, and in the heart of our alumni. So let's keep the main thing the main thing. TMI has a 127-year history of raising great human beings who are also really smart people and are also really prepared for college. But more importantly, they're prepared for a rich life of service to others. Strong academics with a strong sense of selfless service. That's a priceless combination. That's what I want for my children. That's why I'm passionate about our community. And that's why I'm proud to be a TMI Panther. And this night, I hope you are too. So thanks for listening to What's on Father Scott's Heart tonight. I'm proud to be a part of TMI. I can't wait to see you all again. And just because I forgot to say it last time and I got in trouble, Monica Velasco and all of TMI, I love you. I'll see you all soon. Have a great week. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.